Cheap Superfoods List Part 2 for Emergency Backstock. This is our Cheap Superfoods List Part 2, created again, like our Part 1 list, with similar goals in mind. The first is to focus on the most affordable dietary essentials for those looking to offset inflation and the rising cost of living. The second is to select the most nutritive bulk food provisions to have in your emergency backstock during these seemingly unstable times. Lastly, we have added a third section, which includes our top tips on ways to become more self-sufficient when it comes to the food category of life. Our second list of 10 cheap foods and superfoods. Fueling yourself during potential hardships can be a little bit different than your average diet. We agree that purchasing a dehydrated, high-calorie survival food pack might be a good idea in extreme emergencies. The focus here, however, is on simple, nutritious foods, herbs, condiments, and supplement sources that will help you maintain good health, an aspect vital during times of stress. Not listed in order of importance. Protein category. Number 1, lentils. As far as non-perishable protein sources go, lentils are a great option. Dried lentils not only have a very long shelf life, but are one of the highest in protein compared to other, harder to digest legume varieties. Standard brown or green lentils, in contrast to other legumes, are considered the second highest in protein, next to soybean. French green lentils are reported to contain an even higher amount. Lentils, being a quick cooking legume, don't require much energy to prepare and can be a very cost-effective bulk food item to have in your emergency food supply. Quality organic lentils are one of the cheapest protein food sources you can buy. Mushroom category. Number 2, oyster mushroom. When going down the list of functional mushroom types, the most cost-effective, storage-stable choice is definitely dried oyster mushrooms, Pleurotus ostreatus. Oyster is a happy medium between a nutritive, savory, meaty-textured mushroom that's high in protein, and simultaneously a species containing specific immune-supporting beta-glucans that medicinal mushrooms are known for. Perhaps not as much as others, but much more than the average white button or other Agaricus bisporus types. Dried oyster mushrooms are the ones we recommend for emergency storage purposes and as a convenient pantry staple. While the price per pound might initially seem a bit high, keep in mind that when mushrooms are dried, they are very lightweight. So 1 pound of dried oyster is quite a lot. After being soaked and reconstituted, you'll be getting your money's worth. Keep in mind that many mushroom types, like oyster and shiitake, are prolific varieties to grow yourself from purchased plug spawn. Detox category. Number 3, activated charcoal. It is ever so important these days that you do what you can to remove any potential toxins that are unfortunately still prevalent in the world we live in. We feel this is a crucial aspect that can support long-term well-being. Periodic supplemental use of detoxifiers like activated charcoal have long been researched for their cleansing, absorptive qualities and their ability to accelerate the elimination of many industrial and environmental intoxicants. Activated charcoal, sold as a food-grade supplement, is very affordable as a bulk powder and good to have handy for intermittent use. Precaution: consult your physician if taking prescription or over-the-counter medications, as it can also bind to them as well. Condiment category. Number 4, nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast flakes provide a fortifying dietary supplement that contains B vitamins and all essential amino acids. It comes fortified or non-fortified. Fortified is nutritionally enhanced with B12, cyanocobalamin, giving it a bright yellow color. Non-fortified, a lighter color, does not contain B12 but has other naturally occurring B vitamins. The flakes have a cheesy taste that can be used as a topping sprinkled on foods, but they also make a versatile recipe ingredient for soups, dips, and sauces. Likewise, its glutamic acid content provides benefits as an umami flavor enhancer that many people enjoy. Currently, you can purchase non-GMO nutritional yeast online for $12 to $14 a pound or 16 ounces. It's a reasonable price considering you only use a tablespoon or two at a time. Sweetener category. Number 5. Blackstrap molasses. Obviously, the cheapest type of sweetener is granulated forms of cane sugar. While raw cane sugar can come in handy when making homemade kombucha, health-wise, it's not necessarily the best sweetener option. Next in line when taking cost, shelf stability, as well as nutrient value into account is unsulfured blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses, often a byproduct of sugar refining, is both sugary sweet, loaded with valuable mineral content, and supplies a decent number of calories per serving. Its energizing nutritional fortification is top on the list when compared to other natural sweeteners aside from raw honey. For those who don't mind the taste of stevia, we also like to keep the bulk leaf or extracts on hand for adding sweetness to foods and drinks. Superfood category. Number 6. Chia. Chia seeds are a great one to add to the cheap superfoods list because of their nourishing properties and relatively low cost. The seeds are high in calcium and a great omega-3 ALA fatty acid source with the perfect ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. Chia seeds absorb water and form a gelatinous consistency when soaked for a short period of time. When consumed, this fibrous aspect helps to provide a long-burning fuel source that is moisturizing to the body and beneficial as a mild laxative. When soaked and blended, chia adds a thick quality to shakes, desserts, and smoothies. We personally would never eat non-soaked chia seeds as they can cause stomach upset. Like all raw, non-irradiated seeds, you can also use them to grow more chia seeds if you have space for a garden. Fermented beverage category. Number 7. Kombucha. If you happen to be a kombucha lover, this is a great energizing drink to have around as an alternative to sodas, caffeinated beverages, or alcohol. It contains a number of nutritious compounds that are beneficial as detoxification aids as well as for their immune supporting influence. We're not talking about expensive store-bought kombucha, however. The type we are referring to is DIY homemade style kombucha. That's because the SCOBY culture used to ferment the tea liquid is self-generating. After one batch is done, you can peel off another layer to make more. You do need a small supply of loose black tea and raw sugar. These types work best to feed the SCOBY. 1 pound of each, however, will give you many gallons of homemade kombucha. Seaweed category. Number 8. Kelp. Being one of the most prolifically growing seaweeds on the planet, kelp as a bulk powder is very affordable. It is a concentrated source of essential micronutrients like iodine and provides soothing anti-inflammatory polysaccharides. It's often used in soup stocks, stews, or when simmering grains or beans to nutritionally fortify the diet. Kelp also has an umami flavor and is a popular ingredient in Japanese dashi broth and the classic miso soup, responsible for its famous cloud-like effect. A small amount of kelp powder can also be used in water solutions to fertilize garden veggies as well as when growing your own sprouts. Fruit category. Number 9. Raisins. As far as fruit sources go, dried fruit makes a good storage option. Raisins might seem a bit elementary when it comes to fruit alternatives. However, they are one of the most inexpensive dried fruits around, at least here in North America. While not necessarily considered a superfruit, raisins, which are essentially dried grapes, are a great energizing sugar source to have on hand in emergencies. We always recommend purchasing organic, quality raisins as grapes are a highly sprayed crop variety. Spices category. Number 10. Turmeric. Turmeric is a wonderful, mild-tasting spice that can add a lot of health benefits to a meal. It has a broad range of properties, but its bright, yellow-orange curcumin content is most famous in the scientific community as a natural anti-inflammatory agent. Turmeric powder is an affordable spice, and a little bit goes a long way as far as its health-supporting attributes. Top tips for food self-sufficiency. Without saying too much specifically in this video, let's just say we know there are numerous sides to the story when it comes to the current global situation. Given recent agendas that seem to be playing out, we feel it's a good time for individuals and communities to become as self-sufficient as possible. Here is our bullet point list of some basics. Grow your own vegetable and herb garden if you can. Learn how to preserve food via fermentation, canning, and dehydration methods. Have a basic way to purify water. A Berkey can be an inexpensive way to start. Purchase a dehydrated 1 to 2 year food supply pack for bulk emergency calories. Learn about wild foods in your environment. Get a good wild plant identification guide. If non-vegan, get some basic equipment for sourcing your own fish and game if needed. Have a supply of veggie garden seed packs and sprouting seeds as a backup. Precautions. It is always best to do your own research so that you can individually tailor this list of foods to your specific dietary objectives. Thanks for watching! For additional in-depth info, as well as top quality sources of storable survival foods, be sure and follow the links in the description box below this video. Please support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. And be sure and check out these additional informative videos.